Munich is a very safe, calm, very green, nice city. I always say, if you're single, go to Berlin. If you have a family, come to Munich.
There is a theory of 7 handshakes, and I believe in tech scene in Munich, you can easily end up with 2 or 3 handshakes, and you will know everyone.
You have Google, you have Apple, you have Amazon, you have Microsoft, you have Intel, you have IBM. Munich is more diverse for tech people and offers more opportunities than any other city.
As an engineer, I can help people to implement the things they want or they dream about. And the fact that I'm able to do that is absolutely amazing. I really like it. There is a story about this elephant. You see PHP here, and PHP is my primary language. I like this elephant very much because this is a handmade elephant. My wife approached people who sew these elephants, and it was a surprise. I didn't know that she wants to present me one, and it travels all around the world with me. This is already the 3rd country where this elephant accompanies me. My father was connected to IT, and that's why I was lucky enough to get a computer at my home in my very early childhood. Of course, computer was not for me, computer was for my father, but he always involved me when he got some floppy disks with some games, and he always allowed me to insert the floppy disk, to open sort of Norton Commander or whatever software was back then, and to copy the files and to launch the games, to play the games, to save the games, to load the games. I think it started back then. This is about the co-working sessions which has just ended. So what have you discussed? And a little bit later in the school, I realized that I like to code. And of course, it was some very old and not popular language. I think back then it was QBasic. So I started to code my first programs. I was relatively good in it, and my parents suggested me to continue my education in IT Lyceum, so that high school will be focused on software development and maths. Again, it was clear that this is something what excites me. All right, thank you very much, and see you virtually later. Ciao. At the beginning, I was more interested in something more hardware-focused, like microcontrollers. But the situation on the job market was that people wanted a lot of experience for very few money. So I started to look the direction of web software development. And this is exactly what I have been doing till now.
As a foreigner visiting a new city, you always go to the city center. And we are actually at the center of Munich, and this is the first place that I came directly from the airport to see and visit. My name is Shady. I come originally from Egypt, and I'm 35 years old. Back in 2010, I decided more or less that I want to experience the European life. I want to experience meeting new people. I want to experience getting introduced to new culture. Back in 2010, I had the chance to pursue my master's degree at the Technical University of Munich, and it's a very prestigious university. I decided that is like the right step to do, and I should just see how it goes. In 10 years, of course, I saw a lot of change here in Munich. Back in 2010, it was very hard just to go around with English, and you meet very few foreigners, very few expats. The city was not ready yet for the international people to come. But in 2021, a lot of things have changed. If we are talking about the tech industry, especially, Google has built bigger office. Apple intends to invest more than 3 billion. Microsoft grow bigger, IBM grow bigger, Intel grow bigger, and all those companies brought actually a lot of expats.
For me personally, living abroad was not ever a big deal. It was always very interesting. and I'm glad that I had opportunities to visit different places and not just like a tourist, but to be a resident for a while and experience the countries from inside. Actually, I'm kind of introvert person, so I never had a lot of friends, and I never had a goal or intent to meet as many people as possible. For me, it is mostly about my job. I meet a lot of people, both from Germany and from Germany, in the office, and with some of them we got very friendly relations. I think in such a big company like Personio, even if you're introvert and expat, you always have somebody to chat with or to bike together or do any other activities. People value very much the life part in the work-life balance. So it is a bit more chilled comparing to my previous experiences, and also it is a bit more organized and structured and well planned. Personio is a holistic HR software solution, and it has a mission to enable better organizations. When I had interviews in Personio to get the job, there was around 70 or 80 people in the company. When I started to work 3 months later, there were 130 people, and now we have more than 700 people in 4 different offices in 4 different countries of Europe. And soon the 5th office will be opened in Amsterdam. So the growth is absolutely crazy. And of course, all of the problems which businesses can experience with hypergrowth, Personio experiences these problems as well. But I think the company was ready for them, and it knew that if you want to grow and if you want to grow fast, you will have these problems and you have to be ready to overcome these problems. I was hired as a PHP developer, but it was already known when I joined Personio that there is a plan of migrating from PHP to some more performant languages, and we picked Kotlin and Go. I really like PHP, and it is very useful in many cases, but unfortunately not always. So a language basically is just a tool, and it has pros and cons, and PHP has this disadvantage of reduced performance comparing to compiled languages like Kotlin is. Transition to Kotlin-based engineering was challenging. Of course, I met JVM-based languages before, and I even wrote some code before. But in my opinion, it was not enough to be really proficient in Kotlin, and that's why I have been mastering it here on the fly. You're mastering something new, and you don't do it like in your spare time. You can apply your knowledge and skills right away in production code. Of course, it requires a lot of reviews from more experienced people, but it makes your learning curve even steeper, and it allows you to become a better professional in a limited or shortened amount of time.
I actually come from a very technical family. I'm the youngest of 3 brothers. My 2 other brothers are actually computer engineers. All my life I had a computer at home. Since I was 4, I had a Commodore at home, and then 286, 486, and then the Pentium. So I believe that all my life I have been playing around with computers, and yeah, it was very lucky to experience the computer at a very young age. And of course, with the sponsorship and the mentorship of my 2 brothers, it became very obvious to me that actually my path is to become a computer engineer and the programmer. And I definitely want to say that they really affected me and really affected my life, because they basically supported me in in every career step and in every technical way. Imagine sometimes that you have a family meeting, and then you have a technical problem that you have been thinking about, and in the same house there are actually two other people who can think with you and solve it with you, and with a lot of experience as well. So yeah, it has been a very good experience actually, to me. So right now we are actually at Werksviertel here in Munich, and this was back in the days like a student-friendly party place, and right now they turned into a big business and entertainment center, and it is the startup hub here in Munich right now. My journey as a developer in Munich, I would describe it in one word, I guess, roller coaster. I started as a working student in a small company, and then worked as software developer in medium-sized company, and then joined a big company as a senior consultant, and now I'm the head of R&D. And of course, along the journey, it was a hell of a ride. It was full of learning, and I suggest actually for every developer to experience working in small and big companies, because I believe that in every experience you are learning something new, and you are actually finding yourself what really suits you. Because, for example, in my case, after working in a multinational company, I believe that it is not really what I really want, and I want something to make a difference. I want to have an immediate effect on the people. That's why I actually ended up in Testifi. Testifi is all about testing everything, testing software, automation testing, API testing. And my role as the head of R&D in the company is to lead the developers regarding the technical path, and also set up processes and standards within the team to meet all the company objectives and goals. The tech scene in Munich, I consider it as heaven for every developer. Munich offers a lot of diversity regarding work. If you are into really big companies, then you have Apple, Google, Microsoft, IBM, Intel. If you are into automotive industry, then you have BMW, you have Audi. And if you are into insurance, for example, then you have Allianz. So I believe that Munich offers diversity for all developers to come here and live here and work here. There are many cultural differences regarding work between Egypt and Germany. It's always about efficiency, that if you are sitting in the office for 8 hours, then you are expected to work for 8 hours. And I would say this is one of the major differences between Germany and Egypt, because in Egypt it's all about to get work done, but here it's about make full usage of your time at work. So if you can finish this task in 4 hours, then it means that actually you're going to get the next task. And yeah, this is one of the things that I had to learn it the hard way. I got fired 2 times. I really mean it, I got properly fired. At the beginning, it had really a huge impact on me, and it had a huge impact on my thoughts, on my motivation, and it made me question everything. So what I'm doing here, am I really doing the right thing? Did I really took the right decision to move to Germany? After somehow I calmed down and I started thinking about it and about the reasons, and I'm actually proudly right now can talk about it and say that if this didn't happen to me, it wouldn't have developed me in the way I am right now. So actually those 2 incidents that happened to me made me also realize the deep cultural differences that we have between Egypt and Germany. And it made me rethink about about the whole experience. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? Also, I had a couple of meetings after those decisions to ask about my performance and how things are, and to get a positive feedback from the people. And this is actually when I realized it's never personal. You're just not a fit. And sometimes you do stuff you believe that they are okay, but actually they aren't. And this is this is the most important thing, to learn from your mistakes, and to not be ashamed, to fall and to fail, but rather than learn from this experience and and to rise and shine. And this is basically like what happened in my case. And yeah, right now I'm the head of R&D like in a company here in Munich.
Many years ago, when I started my career in engineering, it was already clear that with your existing knowledge, you will never be on top. If you want to be on top, you have to develop yourself, you have to learn new things, you have to try new technologies. Nowadays, the variety of technologies in IT is extremely wide, and it's just getting even wider. So it is challenging to follow everything what is within your interest. I believe that balance is a very important thing literally everywhere, and here as well, to not lead yourself to sort of burnout or to the state when you find that IT is annoying you or is not pleasant anymore.
Being an expat for more than 10 years doesn't really replace like your hometown, your school friends, your family, because this will always be like a special place in your heart. Like you can never replace them. But on the other hand, Munich is actually my second home right now. This is like I consider it. I have built a life for myself here. I have studied here. I have my friends here. I have my home over here. What I learned from living in Munich, I would say mainly to be open-minded, not to judge people so quickly. I need to understand and realize that people are very different. People do stuff in a very different way. Because they do stuff in a different way than the way I know, it doesn't mean that they are bad. It also doesn't mean that they are good. They are just different, and you need to accept it. Sometimes you need to realize that the world is not only you, and things can be done in a different way, and you just need to be patient and see how things are. At the end, it's a ride, it's an experience. It takes a lot of courage, like for somebody to leave his country and come to a new place. So try to enjoy the ride, try to enjoy all aspects of it, and at the end, you must also understand that it's a personal experience. It's about the people you met.
Thousands of developers find jobs across Europe using Honeypot. If you're up for a new challenge in one of these European cities, sign up at honeypot.io. If you want to see more tech documentaries, then subscribe so you don't miss the next one.